Oh.
How's
Ooh.
it going?
Ah.
Gather my hold on. I need to disconnect a display and get my shit together.
Oh. How y'all doing? What's going on?
Right.
What's going on, people? Oh
Are
my
you
God.
high or something, honey?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Not yet. Um, maybe after this, but not right now. Hey Lola. Hey Des. Mrs. Sugar Snap, what's going on, boo boo? How you doing? Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do
All right, can you hear me now?
it. Yes, we could hear you the entire time.
Well, you could hear me. I wanted to make sure that the microphone was set up to hear. Uh yeah,
Gotcha.
right. So I think we are good now. Now I'm just trying to get some presentation things set up. So keep talking. Vamp. Just vamp.
I ain't got a vamp or nothing. I'm just talking. I'm just talking to the families. What's going on? How's everybody's weekend? What did y'all do? Lola, you are here early, and I'm here for it. We don't get to see your presence, have your presence in the room all the time, and for the whole show. So I'm definitely here for it. Des, I hope you had a good week, and a good weekend. Um, Miss Sugar Snap, darling, I need some updates. What's going on? Are you doing did you take all the suggestions that we talked about with these little pillows and stuff, or what's going on? Fill me in. You got time? You can write it to me. You can even text me. I ain't gonna talk about it, but I'm just making sure everything's all right. Everything's good. So, but anyway, it is August the 16th, I think it is, right? Or
That's
18th?
what it is.
Yeah, the 16th. And
Can't
this
stand this
summer is like
fancy banana.
gone just that quick. Like it's just like poof, like be gone. Um, I haven't even been to I haven't gone swimming yet. I haven't been to amusement park yet. I haven't like I spent a couple things I haven't done in the summertime, but I've been to work every day, daggone day. Well, not every day, but for the majority of them, I've been going to work. So, um, but that's a whole nother story because I have to go to work. I don't have to go to the amusement park. But that we will work out. But everybody's summer is going well. I hope everybody's out and about getting their vitamin D.
That's
So,
what they're calling it these days. Yes.
that's what we're talking about. That's what we gonna keep it at vitamin D. That's where to keep it at. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody's gotten some good summer weather, and actually went out today because today was actually a pretty good day. I don't know about for you all in other towns. I know Philadelphia, Baltimore, but it seemed to be pretty decent today. So I had a good day today. So it was pretty good. So yeah, but how was your day, Dominion? What did you have going on today? You're muted.
Now, there we go. It was good. I went to Philadelphia and had myself I mean it was work stuff, so
Right, right,
very
right, right.
excited.
Well, I mean, it's always good to change your scenery every now and then.
Yes. And over the weekend, I went to Philadelphia. I went to Fort Lauderdale and then ultimately to Miami for work. And as one might expect, I have notes.
I'm sure. Mr. Sugar Snaps, yes, we will make this one-on-one happen, but you need to catch me pre just catch me early. How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch me earlier. Yeah. But yeah, okay. So, how was the train ride down? It seemed like it would be like
No,
was
I didn't take the train. I flew. The whole reason I was going was because I had a business meeting on Monday, and so I'm a businessman taking care of business. As who was that? Trick Daddy. He's like, my businessman taking care of business. Can I get a witness?
Can we just talk about Trick Daddy?
No. That was please, hey, please. Let me ride that donkey, whoever that was. That was his businessman taking care of business.
Is that Luke Campbell?
No, it's on my phone somewhere, which is, of course, on the other side of the room right now. So we're not going to worry about that. But yeah, so since I was a businessman taking care of business, I was like, well, I'm going down a few days early, which I did. Well, and the flight was uneventful.
But can we just take a minute to talk about Trick Daddy for just a second? So I want to just quote somebody from Instagram, I think it was, or either Facebook, but it was it was on one somebody's social media. They said Trick Daddy's face looked like he is melting. And I could
not. She 100% does. And I was just like, girl, you got a lot going on there, but you know.
Oh my God. I was like, why would you say that? And then I was like, I couldn't unsee it. That's the problem.
I mean, it was the accuracy for me.
Well, so. You know, then there is that.
Right.
There is that. So, but well, you got a lot of stuff to talk about as far as your excursions and how your week was. So I'm gonna jump into some of my stuff. So listen, if you all don't know, at the Black Degree Factory, which is where I spend my days during the week, it is that time of year for the Black degree seekers to come back into the area to continue seeking their degrees. Well, at this particular point in time, as many of you may know who have been in search of not in search of, but in the process of seeking a degree, usually at the end of the academic year, you are faced with the option of being able to register for the following fall semester. So if you're going in the fall and in the spring, before you leave, you normally get a chance to register early for that next fall semester. And for some people, if you have some issues going on, you may not be able to register. So if you owe a balance or any other type of thing that you didn't do, like something could stop you from preventing your registration. But, you know, a lot of people don't. And so when they get back, they usually, you know, try to take care of it. Well, of course, at the Black Degree Factory, for me, there's a couple of hundred people that have left out and did not register for classes. Not only did they not register for classes, they didn't complete some of the assignments that they needed to do as far as their aid and processing their aid. So, of course, they're going to be Johnny come lately, on the spot, to try to work everybody else's nerves because it's a priority for them. No, baby, it's not a priority for you. The priority is the people that did their shit and did it on time. And they did that so they wouldn't be here during this particular time like you are. But I digress. And then also you have people that, like I said, who didn't take care of business last year. So if you failed something and you were on a scholarship of some sort, there's a process that you can appeal, which doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but you can appeal so you'll know what you're looking at for the next year. So that means that at the end of that semester, you know you lost your aid. So you need to go through this process. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I know, listen, Mary Alice, had I come home and lost my scholarship and did nothing to replace that or try to figure that out, baby, I would not
be been out of gas.
Baby, listen, I wouldn't be sitting here right now because I don't know what I would have done. I probably by the time she would have got finished, you know, with the 2-piece, the biscuit, and the family pack of blues that I would have gotten because I, you know, was just doing stupid shit as far as she was concerned. And rightfully so, because again, when you get to a certain point and at a certain age, you need to start paying attention to certain things. That's just
exactly.
But you know, my whole point is this doesn't necessarily happen. This one particular gentleman, I need to share this. They left to start their internship with an agency that is across the country, but they said that they were in some pretty remote places and had no Wi-Fi signal. So when they left, knowing that they did not meet the minimum requirements to renew their scholarship, they then were notified 15 days later, which would have been in May, let's just say May 30th,
Right.
that you didn't meet the requirements of your scholarship and you're going to have to do an appeal. Okay. Well, you show up during the second week of August and say, I failed my class and I was not able to keep my scholarship, so I'm trying to appeal it right now. But I was having problems submitting my appeal. Oh, okay. Well, young man, let me see what I can do for you. Like, do you have a screenshot or something? He's like, no. I was like, okay, well, when did you try to do it? He's like, well, I tried to do it when I first got the information, but I was unable to do it because I was in some pretty remote places and I didn't have any Wi-Fi or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, he's like, yeah, it was a really big deal, this internship. I was like, okay, well, great. He said, yeah, I was in these remote places.
Girl.
No. Down in New Orleans and then up in Philadelphia. And I was like,
that is not remote.
Listen. So here I am. Here now wait, but catch it. Oh, he done left out. Oh, daggone it. Hey, Mika, what's going on? I see you in the room. What's going on? I'm trying to finish the story for y'all. But Dominion seemed to have jumped off the screen, but we're gonna see if we can get him back.
I said I just had to go get this cloth to clean my lenses. Keep going.
Oh, I didn't hear that. We didn't hear any of that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so yes. So when he said these remote places and he mentioned, Philadelphia and then New Orleans, I was like, okay, all right, cool, whatever. So then I said to him, well, wait a minute. He said, yeah, I've been really busy the entire summer. And, I just got back a couple of days ago. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, the deadline has already passed. It was the 4th. So if you got back a couple of days ago, did you try to submit it again? Like, did you, just what did you try to do? Like, did you try to email it? He was like, no, I wasn't able to submit it. So that's why I'm here now. And I said, okay, so let me make sure I understand this correctly. You failed. You didn't meet the requirements of your scholarship. You didn't submit the appeal for it. And you said it's because you had no Wi-Fi all summer in
New Orleans and Philadelphia.
And in Philadelphia. And you are here with no screenshot, not even a late submission to say you've still submitted it, but you are here for your scholarship. Right?
He's like, yeah, that's about right. Mm-hmm.
I said, well, here's where we are. The decision is still going to stand because there is nothing that we can do. Not only did you miss the deadline, you have no proof of saying that you've even applied for this. And this is kind of where we are. So you can check with a couple other departments. You can take out loans. Like, you can do all these other things. Now, meanwhile, I'm sitting there looking at, I have your page open. I'm looking at all your financials. Darling, your financials are more than the cost of attendance here. So while mommy and daddy may not be trying to put no money out towards you, but let me tell you, you're going to have to figure this out. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm sure you probably haven't even told your mom and dad that you didn't fail, that you lost your scholarship. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem.
Right.
Figure that out. But listen, when you come back to us, I can process your loans. That's what I can do. So you let me know what you want to do. Well, there's no one else I can talk to. There is no one else above me that can talk to you about this scholarship at all. No one. But we have.
I mean, what do you really think was going? I mean, I know what he thought was going to happen, but I don't understand how people think that they can. First of all, girl, you lost me when you said you was in some pretty remote locations, and so I'm thinking, okay, maybe this girl was doing an internship in Timbuktu or whatever. This said Philadelphia and New Orleans.
But then wait, remember, he said he left the middle of the month, and then we emailed him the decision or the information about the scholarship May 30th. So you were in a remote location. If you were in a remote location, you shouldn't have got that one either, right? And I'm just saying, just for shits and giggles, because you got that email. I'm just saying.
To which you could have replied, listen, if it's your money and it was that pressed to you, I'd have been like, can somebody take me to a Starbucks or something so I can get on somebody's Wi-Fi or something? You trying to say you didn't have access to a phone, you don't have email on your phone or nothing, so you didn't have a Xenial or whatever they're calling the kids of this generation these days. You're saying you didn't have no access, you didn't have no phone, you didn't have no Wi-Fi. You couldn't call your mama and be like, Mom, I need to get this shit together or else I won't be in school. No, girl. You just didn't do it. You fucked around all weekend in New Orleans and Philadelphia, and now you think everybody's going to have a sob story. Well, bitch, you don't have the sobbiest story.
While working at a federal government agency that's all across the country.
Right, girl, because here's the thing. If you will, and then see you do your story, listen, my aunt, not my aunt, my cousin, rest her soul, who was a child psychologist, told me when I was young, I was like 10 years old, and I told this lie that was just like so transparent. It seems like now, I'm not telling you to lie, but if you're going to lie, make it a good lie. Now, here's my thing. Here's the first part where you fucked up. You said you was in a remote location. So, okay, I could have sympathy for you. Because, listen, the girl, you could get a remote thing. You could have been out in the middle of Wyoming. You could have been working with the forestry or some shit. You could have been somewhere where you didn't really have good signal or whatever. But you said you was in Philadelphia and New Orleans. Lie number one. I mean, because I could go, I mean, there is nowhere in the city of Philadelphia, and you should have been like, bitch, I live in Philadelphia.
Wait. Because I was waiting. Baby, I was sitting there waiting. I was like, oh, okay. Like I was in
Philadelphia. Waiting. Okay. Not even rural Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. You said waiting. You couldn't get internet in the city of brotherly love.
I was waiting, bitch, because I was getting ready to wear his ass out. And then we talked about New Orleans as well. I was like, and New Orleans, you're saying that there. Do you understand that you're working for a federal government agency? Do you understand there's a federal government agency in every single city across this United States? And even if it's not in that exact city, it is within less than 50 miles. So what the fuck?
And that was fuck up number 3. You're working for a federal government agency, which by definition means you have access to the internet. And while they don't want you fucking around on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, I'm sure if you said to your boss, I need to use the internet to contact Howard University so I can keep my scholarship, your boss would have been like, sure. Not even a problem. Bitch, you ain't even had to ask. Your boss would have looked up from Facebook to be like,
that part.
I don't give a shit.
So here I am. I'm trying to keep a straight face this whole time, and I'm in this auditorium, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" So then he did the thing which drives me crazy. We sitting and he was kind of like, "But I don't really understand," and I was like, "I don't know what else is there for you to understand,
baby." These words are simple and they are in English.
These are
you do not have a scholarship.
Right.
There is no money for you.
Let me know when you want to, which loan you want to apply for, and I will make sure it is processed. That is it.
Can he get the scholarship back next year, or is it a wrap for him?
Say it again.
Can he get the scholarship back next semester, or is it a wrap for him?
It's a wrap for him. It's a wrap for anyone, honestly speaking, because when they come into the Black Degree Factory, there is a contract that lists the terms and conditions and tells you specifically.
Oh, because he failed some classes. Okay, got it.
You need to maintain this grade point average and have completed this many credits per semester. And we build in the option to appeal because we know that people are going to fuck up. And most of them do between their freshman and sophomore year. So that first appeal that you missed the deadline for, not by one day, but by
forever.
And you had no communication whatsoever with our office since May.
Mm-hmm.
When we told you that you can appeal.
Right. Now, I am speaking as someone who lost their scholarship. And I understand. But, baby, when they told me, oh, your scholarship is gone, it was no like, what? You're not renewing my scholarship? I mean, so it was, because I've never been one of those bitches. Listen, I know I fucked up. I might have gone down and begged you to do it. But if you said, no, I'm sorry, sir, there's nothing you can do, I'd have been like, well, I mean, this is a boat that I built. This is a cake that I baked. This is the house that I built. So what are you going to do?
Baby, when it happened to me and I lost mine, guess what this little black boy did? I took my happy ass over to that administration building and I saw every single person I could. Hi, my name is, I'm a part of this organization. I've done this, and this. I need some extra money. No, you don't have any. Thank you. Who's your next? I'm sorry. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go back. Hi, my name is, I'm here for, by the time I left that building, I had more money than when I walked in the door. So listen, I'm not saying that this young man can't find any money because I gave him his options. And I even did say, I said to him, I said, you might want to go to your departments, the schools, because sometimes the departments will have money. And many times they do, especially if you're a graduating senior and just towards the end of the year. The problem is you can't bank on it and you never know when it's going to come through. But most times it comes through usually at the end of the year. But again, he's got to get registered because he still has a bill. He has also got to get through the first semester to then also get registered for the second semester. And then sometime so at some particular point, there's probably going to be something for him. But the gag for me was when he rolled into the auditorium today to go and talk to my boss's boss.
Oh, he thought he was going to escalate?
Baby, and I was walking out that door and I pulled Miss Thing to the side. I said, hey, come here. I said, let me explain to you why this student is here. This student has this, that, and the other, so forth and so on. And he was just like, oh, okay. And I was like, unless you all have some money, he's not getting his scholarship back. He's like, well, we're going to try to see. Okay, well, you do what you're going to do. I'm walking. But that scholarship that he had, he's not getting. We're not renewing that. I don't give a fuck what you give him, what else you give him, whatever you give him, let's have the paperwork for it and we will apply it. Because I'm not going to be that petty. I'm not going to be that petty where I lose your stuff. I'm not going to be that petty where I wait till the last day of the loan period and not certify your loan so you can't ever get it. I'm not going to be that petty to not accept your awards. I'm not going to do that. That would be awful of me to even say that, like I've done it before or something like that. I'm not going to be that. I'm not. But what I am going to do is not award you what you are not eligible for, which is that scholarship that you lost. So
that part. So before I get into my Miami adventures, I invited our good Bristol Louboutin on for a hot minute to talk about his take on Beyonce. So I am adding him to the chat now.
Louie.
Hello.
Well, hello there, sunshine.
How's it going?
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
What's going on? How are you?
Oh my God. Am wonderful.
Is this too much noise? Is this too much conference? Where you at, boo? What's going on? Are you home?
I'm home. By special request.
You already had your acclimates and everything?
I have, and then I have some, on the side just in case.
Right. So we want to hear, you all heard, the fans all heard me and Epic's take last week on Beyonce and the fabulousness that was the Renaissance World Tour. But we know that you went and visited and saw it in a different city. So we would like to know your take on it. So let's start with what you wore. What was your look?
Well, I didn't get anything new. So I reimagined a former costume that these people would have never seen because we don't go in the same circles. So yeah, I did get stopped by
your Caribbean joint.
No, I recycled my sexy cowboy costume from Halloween.
Oh, okay. There we go.
So yeah, I basically deconstructed and added some things, but those people had never seen me before, but they saw me then. So it was a look because one of the big TikTokers stopped me and got a nice little video, whatever. I don't know who it was, but they had a lot of people following them. So I was like, okay, it was cute. But the concert, oh my God, it was amazing. Like I really want to go again.
And exactly. You was in Club Renaissance?
Oh no, I was in the 100 level. I wasn't trying to stand up another Beyonce show. I did the floor seats once. You really have to stand up the whole show. Okay. So I wasn't spending that kind of money to have cramps and all that other shit by the end of the night. I wasn't doing that this year.
How much was your tickets?
They were a few $100s,
Come on, girl. How much was your ticket?
I'll say they were more than $600. But okay. Next time plan early.
Listen, bitch, I'm not judging. Listen, because you are at home and you still have a home. Your lights are still on.
As
Your
you can see.
electricity, your internet is still on. So who am I to judge what you do with your money? So there you go.
It was money well spent, in my opinion. The
Yes.
looks. I mean, I didn't realize every show was going to have a different set of costumes and everything.
Right.
I was not disappointed. Like I said, I want to go again. As I told the man, I'm going to be one of those people. I'll catch a flight somewhere and sit in the parking lot and get the cheapest fucking resale that I could, purchase after the show starts. I'm going to be one of those people next time.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, amazing. The production
She's in
level.
Miami this weekend.
Child, no. I'm gonna try to. I really want to go to Houston because I know
Yes!
I know she's gonna show her fucking ass off for her hometown. I just want to go to Houston, so it may be Houston. I got some points with Southwest.
When is the Houston show?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm definitely gonna look to see if I can go.
I just want to bring Miss Meg out because that's going to be a moment.
I know she's going to do Savage because she did it the other night. So I know it's in the show.
Yes!
So it would make no sense for Meg to come out for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to see that. But the production level, the graphics, everything, if you go, no matter where you see it, it's a whole vibe, a whole experience. We were in there doing the routines from the previous albums. Me and these strangers, we were doing all the routines together. I mean, it was a whole vibe. So I don't care about the money. It was an experience that you'll never get.
Let me ask.
So she's at. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. Let me ask. What was your favorite look of the night that she did? Because again, we already know the costumes switched up a little bit. But what was your favorite look?
Oh, I don't damn know. I don't know. All the shit was sparkly. Y'all know I like shit that sparkles.
Right.
There was some little silver pearl get up number, something swoop here, swoop there, and then it had like the garter belts connected, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you a picture, Epic. But yeah,
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of that I really, really like.
Okay.
But everything was wonderful. So I don't have a favorite one. But yeah, that one stood out the most.
Okay. I just, we talked about some looks that stood out for me at least. And again, if anybody if they don't know by now, baby, I love me a woman's heel and I love something that wrap around an ankle. But baby, that thing was amazing for me. And then also that silver look that we talked about, those are my favorites. So I so that's why I was asking.
I wish somebody would have told me about this giant ass horse that flew out from who the fuck knows where. I wasn't ready for that. And
I was not ready for her to fly around the stage at the end.
I'm that damn horse.
That part. Well, she didn't even on the. She wasn't.
Wait a minute. She flew. Well, you know what? She might have done that because of the rain in DC.
Yeah. She was just like, I was like, is she flying?
She did get in a harness and fly around though. So she was on the horse, on that disco ball horse, and the horse they pulled the horse out. Then she lifted up off of the horse and then started flying around the stage.
Oh, so it was probably a modification because of the weather.
Right.
So for our show,
she could have slipped right off of that sparkly horse in the air, and that would have. Child, there's not enough money to cover the insurance for a dead Beyonce or a brokeback Beyonce.
But let me tell you, the fans would, and listen, I know right now they'd look like World War Z. They'd have been climbing to get on top of each other so they can cushion her if they saw her.
She wouldn't have hit the floor. She would not have hit the floor at all.
They'd have been like,
right.
So did y'all get the giant ass horse that came out of the background?
Yes.
I
thought I was high for a second because I was like, at first it was just a picture. And then the shits come forward, and I was like, bitch, I have not had anything. I have not had a drink. Well, I mean, actually, I did have a drink, but I was not drunk or high at all. And then I was like, what the fuck?
Well, I can't agree with you there. And I thought that was my problem because all I know is it came out, and I was like, they were like, what's that? I said, did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? They were like, oh shit. Yeah, they weren't watching. I was watching.
Now listen,
it was like I blinked, and then all of a sudden, this 2D horse was like a 3D horse, and I was like, what the fuck?
And it was big as hell. It was big.
That was I can't imagine like at the end of the tour, that's gonna be like in her backyard or somebody's house. Just be like, yes, this is the horse from from the Renaissance tour, you know. So,
and baby, I love the little roller coaster ride through the Renaissance locations and all of the graphics. I mean, I can't say anything bad about the show at all.
Not even a little bit. Even for us, the rain with the laser show and everything, I was like, this bitch has made the rain work for her.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
And Little Blue Ivy, oh my God, she was amazing.
Yeah, we've already talked about my opinions about that.
Well, I know it was a little rainy for y'all, but it was dry for us.
Not
she cut up.
Feel like, so my feelings on Blue Ivy, I have nothing against Blue Ivy, but it feels like just a super elevated version of Ivy. Ivy's, Blue Ivy's in her room, on her iPad or whatever. She's like, girl, come out here and show the kids, show everybody that new dance they doing. It's like, girl, I'm not paying. I don't give a shit about Blue Ivy. And then also, this is what I also said. I feel like we're being set up for a terrible album by Blue Ivy Carter in about 3 to 4 years.
You think so?
Yes, just because your mama is super talented doesn't mean that she's going to be super talented. And here's why. I'll just repeat what I said last week. People that are super talented had to hoof it generally. The Jacksons had to hoof it. They had started from nothing and made themselves. Beyonce started from nothing and made themselves. Diana Ross started from nothing and made themselves. And for every Tracy Ellis Ross, there is a 3T or any of them other Jer Majesty and Jermaine Jackson's children. So for every super successful, like Evan Michael Ross and Tracy Ellis Ross, there are the children of the Jacksons. And even like LaToya Jackson, although LaToya, she's just an icon all on her own, but that's separate. But so I just feel like it's a 60-40 that this first album from Blue Ivy Carter is going to be terrible, and it's leaning the 60 to 70% chance that it's going to be terrible because she's grown up a child of privilege, so she never had to lose Star Search or go through all of those things and have her grandmother make shitty costumes for her and all of that other stuff. I
don't think she's going to go into singing, though. I think she's going to probably stay with dance. Because I remember, was it Formation, where she was singing the Negro National Anthem? I was like, okay, maybe she's going to try to sing too, but she hasn't been singing since then.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. And I mean, hopefully she's a good dancer, but for every blah blah blah,
I will give her I feel the same way. I feel like it seems as if she has a actual desire to dance. Like I've seen some of the behind the stage stuff where
she's got a dancer's body,
and she's like, she has this dance thing, like she just can't sit down. And I think that was kind of where Solange was as well. But the other part of it is, like I was saying to Dominion at the concert, I was like, do you know how difficult it is to be on stage trying to dance as a young lady with your mom on stage, and you can't even really go off the way you want to go off and do what you want to do because you're dancing with your mom and your mom is legendary, and then you're trying to still find your own lane. So that's one of those. And then she's at that weird, awkward preteen age where she's trying to figure stuff out, because even when they were dancing side by side, you saw, B like really nailing these moves, and Blue was just kind of like, okay, mom. Okay, all right, mom.
It was soft focus. It was a very soft focus dance.
And so for me, that's what I saw. I hope she stays in the dance part because that's where it seems like she has a love. But again, if she goes over on the music side, listen, she has her mother and her aunt. Because I don't think that's so. I don't know how I feel about Solange's voice. I'm not going to say she can't sing. But if I had to choose of the two, I think B sounds a little bit better. But then again, I'm not a singer either. So I can't, my judgment might be completely off. So
they just have different kinds of voices.
Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
So then let's see. Her she's actually today, she's in Tampa. On Friday, she's in Miami, then St. Louis, Arizona, 2 shows in Nevada, Santa Clara, California, 3 shows in Inglewood, which is LA, Seattle, Washington, Arlington, Texas, Houston, Texas on September 23rd and 24th, New Orleans on the 27th, and the show concludes on October the 1st in Kansas City.
So that's where my boo eccentric is. For those of you who are wondering where he is, he's in Tampa at that show.
Oh, okay, very good. So you know what? A cute show to go to might be the finale in
Kansas.
In Kansas, October 1st. Is that in the Indigenous Peoples Day weekend? Let's see.
No, Indigenous.
No, that's a Sunday. Well, actually, that could work. Let's see. Let me see. Hold on. Everybody be quiet. Everybody be quiet. Alexa, what day is Columbus Day this year?
Columbus Day will be on Monday, October 9th, 2020.
Oh, yeah. So it's the Columbus Day is not until October the 9th. So
we got that floating personal day. I'll see if I can work it out.
Bitch, get it together, okay?
That's what, yeah. So listen, do not make any plans about that Kansas tour, and don't let me know, Lou.
Okay. I'm in on Southwest right now. You know I ball on the budget.
Listen, you and me both. So we'll stay in touch and figure it out.
I cannot.
I'm gonna try.
Thank you for the roving report from the windy city of North Carolina.
Right.
Yes. That. Yeah. About that.
Right.
All right, y'all.
Thank you so much for joining, baby. We'll talk to you in a bit.
All right. Talk to you.
Bye. All right. So let's see. So my trip to Miami. I arrived on Thursday. So here are my thoughts in order. So I got to Miami, right? And I don't normally fly into Miami. I always fly into Fort Lauderdale and spend all of my time in Fort Lauderdale. But when I flew into Miami, because, that's where, Amtrak was paying for me to fly into. So, of course, that's where I flew into. I was like, does anybody here speak English? When I tell you that as I was getting off of the plane, all I heard was Spanish. Like, all I heard, I was like, damn, does anybody around here speak English? And I mean, listen, I'm not ugly American. I understand enough Spanish to get what I want, but it felt like we was in Cancun or something with the amount of people speaking Spanish. And they was generally rude as hell. And I was trying to figure out if they were rude because I was black or they were just rude because whatever. Either way, it was like late in the evening and I was tired, so I just needed to get to my hotel. So the hotel, a solid 3 stars.
Out of 5 or 4?
Out of 5, yeah. Not out of 10. Because if it had been 3 stars out of 10, I'd have left. But no. So it was a cute little Holiday Inn level kind of property. I mean, the room was pretty big, had a king size bed, had a cute little brownish gold, sparkly gold tile in the bathroom. It was cute, but it was no frills in the girl. So, but listen, for what I needed it to do, that room for 3 nights was $210. So $70 a night, plus $7 a day for parking and a refundable $50 per day thing. And it was across the street from the beach. So she did what needed to be done.
Right.
And Lola said, Louboutin says, I was the same way in my first visit. They looked at me like, you don't know where you are you? And I kind of felt the same thing. And I was like, bitch, I look like a bitch that was born in this country.
Bring it down.
And, I will say that white womanry is the same regardless of the language you speak, because so many women would like walk towards me and expect me to move out of the way. And bitch, I would stand like, and a couple of them bumped into me and looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, bitch, you saw me and you chose to walk towards me, or you weren't fucking paying attention. I am not straight, so I'm not trying to fuck you. I don't give a shit. You need to give me the same fucking respect that you give any other bitch on the street. And so, I mean, I wasn't trying to fight none of these cute Latin guys, but you know,
Baby,
I stood my ground when I needed to.
That energy right there, and when I opened the door, like that part right there, that irritates me. And I remember I opened the door for somebody. She walked right through, and I said, "So are you just not gonna say thank you?" She was like, "I mean, I was just walking through the door," and I was just like, "Slam." It's like, "I'm good, girl. This is why I don't do that shit."
Right.
This is exactly why I don't do that shit.
All right. So then I was like, girl, you know, I'm here and it's early. I don't have nothing to do because Elimination and other friends were not available that night. And I didn't expect them to because, you know, I'm not like when the girls come to DC or travel to other places. They be like, pick up your phone. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello?
Hey, girl, I'm in town. What you doing tonight?
I'm so you breaking up, girl. You got bad girl. Hello. I can't.
Epic. Because here's my thing. Unless you, I'm going to say, so if you're like a super Judy, like if you and I didn't live in the same town, or like when Epic comes to town, I'll be like, okay, bitch, I'll stop what I'm doing. But generally, I'm going to, because first of all, Epic works like we do. So Epic is going to be like, girl, I got like 2 hours to hang out and whatever. But these girls will come into town and want to hang out for like 5 hours on a Wednesday night. And I'm like, girl, it is a school night. So are you staying here to the weekend? Well, then I got you on Friday and Saturday for a couple hours. But during the week, no, I'm not really going to hang out. So I had no expectation that anybody was going to hang out with me on a Thursday night. And plus, I don't be going places with the expectation that anybody is going to spend time with me. Your Brista is always prepared to entertain himself for 5 days.
Listen, I sent that text message out when I get there. Hey, just FYI, I'm here in town. Because I just all want to do. I don't want nobody to say I didn't say that I was in town. Hey, listen, I'm here. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I expect to see you with nothing.
Baby, I have gone to Los Angeles and spent the whole 10 days with no itinerary.
Why are you mad about Jergens, girl?
I've been to LA and spent the whole 10-day summer vacation all by myself with nobody to hang out with and had a fabulous time because your Bristol knows how to make a friend.
Listen, the sad part is I really don't even need one if I'm going. Baby, listen, in fact, I'd rather be by myself when I go out of town because what I can get into by myself.
And this is why you and I travel together because I'm not going to be like if we was together and you was like, girl, I got a date. And especially because of you, first of all, if you and I are traveling together, we probably already got our own separate rooms. So ultimately, I don't give a shit.
And listen, even if we're in the same room, it's like, all right, bitch, listen, because I walked in and the bitch been in the middle of something, and I was like, okay, well, bitch,
right. And I will. And if you was in the middle of something, I'll be like, okay, girl, you got like 5 hours. I'll go entertain myself for 5 hours, and then I'll be back. Just make sure the room don't smell too much like ass. Pull out some spray or a candle or something. But other than that, so anyway, so since I had no other opportunities or no other plans, I went to Slammers. And I had a lovely time. And I'll just say my body count was 4.
That night?
4. That night, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm at a place in my life where I have sex once a week when I hang out with the slave friend. So, you know, if we hang out on Saturday, so Saturday to Thursday, so that is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's been 5 days. And I'm just at an age where I don't like jack off all the time or whatever. There's nothing wrong or anything. It's just like, I'd much rather be asleep. And so when I get to the club, baby, the thing was, I kept trying to fuck a dude, and then I would be like, he's about to get it. He's about to get it. He's about to get it. But then he did something or made a move, and I was like, no, you don't deserve this first nut. And so then I didn't get a first nut to the third person, and then the fourth person turned out to be cute too. So he got the second one of the night. But overall, it was a body count of 4.
Bitch, listen, let me tell you something about that. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna jerk off. Like, but you like, yeah, I'm gonna get myself together.
Baby, I have awakened with the covers pulled down to my knees, with the phone in my hand, like, oh shit. I guess no drinking off tonight because it is now 4:00 in the morning. And I had been holding the phone in my hand for 4 hours.
Bitch, listen, I'm telling you. I'm just be like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, oh, child, fuck this shit. I'm going to bed.
Exactly. So, all right. So then the next day, normal work day. So we went to the drink, or the pub is what it's called. It's, there's Alibi, and then there's that strip of gay bars, not where the Eagle is, but across the street from the Eagle. So it's like called the drink, and then the pub, and then a few other spots.
Across from the Eagle. So I know what you're talking about when you said across the street from the
So
Eagle.
it's on the same side of the street as the Eagle, but it's across from where Alibi and all of that is. So it's on the same side of the street as the Eagle. So if you were at the Eagle,
you walk out the door of the Eagle, you go to the right or you go to the left?
You go to the left. And so you keep walking, you cross the street, and then there's like 4 gay bars right there in that little strip.
Gotcha. On
that side of the drive. So anyway, we went there. We went to a spot called the Pub, and it was a halfway decent black drag show in front of an unappreciative white audience. So here's what it was. The host of the drag show was this black drag queen. I'm pretty sure she was a trans woman, but that's really neither here nor there. All of her drag queens were black drag queens from the South who were doing these songs that only me, Elimination, Vision, and like 4 other homos in the spot knew. Now, there was like 150 people in the club. Most people were just like, but like me and Elimination was like, I'm in love under new management. I'm in love under new management. Baby, and then at the end, she was like, what's the last song? And then I was like, hold on. Oh, I was gonna say she might be dead. She was like, what's the last song? She was like, all right, y'all have been such a good audience. Most of them were not. But y'all have been such a good audience. I'm gonna do an encore. What are you gonna do? And I'm like, do Patty! Patty! Patty LaBelle, Over the Rainbow. She was like, I don't know if I have that. And I'm like, do Patty! So then she found a version of Over the Rainbow, and baby, she got my magic $7 tip, which isn't $7. It was just because that was what I had left at the end of the show, and so that was that. Then we went across the street to Alibi, and now begins my dissertation. Hey, Legionnaire. Now begins my dissertation. Actually, I'm going to do it on the phone here. I'm going to pull it up on the phone so that I can see everyone because I'm working off of one screen. So Let me pull this up.
Hey, Nichelle. I didn't speak to you earlier. I was reading your comments.
So my first this dissertation is entitled Observations of Elimination in His Native Habitat.
Jesus Christ. This is already starting off. For those of you that don't already know, this is already starting off. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's going to be a lot. All right. So first, shockingly, Elimination knew all the big booty Latin boys. Because as we was walking in, but Elimination know everybody because he was Mr. Ramrod. He was the president of the Onyx chapter. And I'm just going to say that she's free with her love.
We'll go with that.
Yes, she's free with her love. And so like as he walked in, he was like, hey, hello. And that was when I realized there was like a story here. So the first one was, shockingly, Elimination knew all the big booty Latin boys. Then one of them came up and they had a little interaction. And that was when I really started typing away on my phone. And he interacted with this one dude. And then he was like, what the fuck are you doing on your phone? Because it was clear that I was like writing a lot. and I said, she had tats all over her scalp. So immediately I knew she had the best pussy. And baby, Elimination was like, chill. Because this dude was like this tall, muscular, with a nice booty that looked like it was good and firm and good for stuffing with all sorts of things. And he had tattoos all over his body that went all the way up his neck, and he had shaved his head. So his tattoos were like right in here, like all over his forehead. I was like, ooh, I know he got good pussy. Ooh. Mm. Mm. And Elimination confirmed that I was accurate. Then he interacted with another dude, and this is the note I took. She was short and muscular with a backwards baseball cap. So immediately I knew she thought she had good pussy, but it was just I. And he was like, I fucking hate you.
Listen.
Because he just walked around with this air like, what's up? I'm like the coolest dude in this space. You know, I know everybody fucking wants me in the club. And I was like, yeah, in my experience, dudes like that think that their sex is really good. And it's like, I mean, you know.
It's all right.
I mean, it's better than not having sex at all.
It's I guess.
Right. Next, he interacted with another person. She hugged him, but he only returned the hug. He did not hug her back. So immediately I knew that she wanted to fuck, but it was a firm no from him. And we've all been there where someone comes up to you and it was like, epic! And you're like, hi, it is so good to see you. And like they're squeezing on you all hard, like, and they want you to squeeze them back as like a first prelude to whatever. And you're like, no, I'm returning your hug, but I am not reciprocating this energy at all.
This is usually me in that type of situation as the hug. And I'm like, oh.
Right. And so then the last one, which I actually didn't write down, but I remember. So there was this Latin couple that was there, and he went up and said hello to them.
Was it Lewis and his boyfriend?
It could have been. But so they were talking, and I didn't write this down, but I looked over at Elimination. I was like, you fucked both of these dudes, didn't you? He was like, if you don't get the fuck out of my head. So he had fucked both of them, but they apparently are into black dudes. And this other Negro that was hovering like right here behind one of them
was gonna be their target for the evening.
Oh, that was already, he's already found, they'd already found their Elimination replacement. Gotcha. And Elimination was fine with it. It wasn't like it was a problem, but it was just like, and the funny part about it was that, you know, of course, I'm standing there just observing all of this. So, you know, they were both, you know, not super tall. The taller one was like 5'7". The shorter one was like 5'3", 5'4". The one that was so the one that was 5'4" was standing here. Then the black guy was standing right next to the short Latin guy. Then the taller Latin guy. The taller Latin guy and Elimination were chatting, but the shorter Latin guy was like, he was giving a look that said, if you say the word, I will leave these bitches right now. And like you could see it, he kept trying to catch Elimination's eye, and he was like, no, bitch, I mean right now.
It's always
right at this second.
Yeah, it's always that one person. It's like, God damn it. Always, God damn it. Like, shit.
And the fact that he was talking to the taller one means that was the one that Elimination really wanted to fuck again. So it would have just been a whole mess. So anyway, so then that was that. And then the next day, and I had, you know, drank a lot and we'd eaten and done all kinds of stuff. So I was like, no slammers for me. Because I had bought the 3-month pass this time, and I was determined to go at least twice to make the 3-month pass worth it.
So wait, did y'all go next door to the salad? To the sandwich place again? To the Eagle? You know, we get the fried sandwich, the hot the grilled sandwich.
No. We didn't go to the Eagle that night. That was the next night. Friday night. This was all in Alibi.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then we went to Hunter's, but we just hung out in Hunter's for a hot second, and then we left. Oh, and by the way, since I didn't pack everything, I did pack like I was never coming back again.
Shocker.
I know, right?
Shocker.
And I bought my rainbow Adidas, and baby, I got so many compliments on those shoes. And at some point, I was just like, okay, yes, you like the shoes. Okay, thank you. Where'd you get them from? I said, they're Adidas. Okay, what store? Online. Well, can I get them in?
Listen, bitch, if you're going to be a fashionista, bitch, you better be able to answer these questions real fast, honey. Just go on and tell them. Just go on and tell them.
I was like, bitch, just take a picture and use Google image search, and that'll tell you exactly. They're not even available anymore. So there was like a limited time joint. I'm so glad I got them. So, but I got 2 of the 3 iterations. So I got the rainbow ones and then the other blue ones with the white sole. I did not get the tan ones with the tan sole. But anyway, so the next day, Daddy Steve invited me to the pledge demos that we had, and that was cute. And we talked and yada, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And you know, all of that. And then I was determined I wasn't going to eat a lot. I wasn't going to drink a lot because, yes, I top. Well, if I'm in public, I'm only topping. I've only bottomed in public. And by in public, I mean at the club. Never. This was like 25 years ago. Maybe not that long, but it was a long time ago. I only top at the club, but I still do not like to eat and fuck. If I can avoid it. So we had a cute little bar night at the Eagle, and luckily I didn't even have to like make an excuse to leave because their bar night was only from 9 to 12. At 12:05, everybody was like, I'm out. So I changed into my whole clothes and went to the spot. I had fucked 3 dudes. And then I was then after the 3rd dude, I got my nut and I was ready to go. But then I was like, I'm in Fort Lauderdale. I don't get to come down here very often. And so I need to, make the most of this. I was like, plus Epic is looking for stories. I mean, we got to have something to talk about. I mean, otherwise, what is the whole point of this trip? And so, there was this one kid that I fucked in the dark room. So person number 4 that I fucked in the dark room.
Wait, is that the dark room, the one on the side?
The fireplace is.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So the other ones I fucked like in the big orgy room and like in the dark room at the front of the spot. The big round table, right. And then a couple of the dudes I fucked in the dark orgy room that's at the front of the club. But then I was in the side room and I started fucking this dude, and baby, it was like it went from this to this. She tightened up on me real good, and then something said to me, slap his ass. So I slapped his ass and he yelped and said, fuck me, daddy. And baby, I beat his brakes off. He started crying, like literally crying. And listen to be clear. I am not Cutler X. I'm not trying to pretend like I am always blowing the kids back out, but it was the perfect marriage of penis and man and booty and man. And then he leaned up and I started talking, talking some shit in his ear and everything. And I like grabbed the front of his chest, and he was either like a hairy Latin or Italian guy or Arab or whatever. And I said, get your ass back down there, and threw him back down on the bed and started fucking him some more. Baby, he almost ripped my penis off in the best possible way. So my body count on Saturday night was 5.
Okay. All right.
Sunday, then I had to check out of the 3-star hotel in Fort Lauderdale to the 4.5-star hotel that Amtrak was paying for because I had meetings in Miami the next door. And it was the same hotel of the Marriott Biscayne Boulevard that I stayed in is right next to, I don't know what they're calling it now. It used to be called American Airlines Arena, but it's right there on the water, literally on the water. But the last time I stayed in that hotel was in 2005 as Hurricane Katrina made landfall for the first time. I was on the 22nd floor.
Mm-hmm.
And baby, let me just tell you, I've lived in Tallahassee. So, I mean, I'd even lived through hurricanes in DC, but I have never been looking out the window and watched a hurricane come in. Watched it from like heavy rain out at sea, and that should get closer and closer, and then like the drip start falling, and then watching the glass flex in and out. Baby, so like here's the window, here's the bed, here's me. So I slept on, I put like a pillow and shit on the floor because I was like, if all this shit gets sucked out of the window, at least that'll give me some warning, because if I'm on this bed and that bed gets sucked out the window, it's a whole wrap for me.
Bitch. Like, woo!
Exactly. And so that was fine, but that was just a memory. So I hung out with one of our brothers at the Wynwood Arts District, and we went to this brewery. And as we were there in the background, this dude's like, yeah, you know, I'm not sure if he was trying to hit on me or us, or if he was just like fancied himself an influencer, because that's what he said. And immediately I tuned out. But he was trying to engage me. He was like, yeah, you know, I'm an influencer. You know, I got this new sunglass line coming out, you know, in like, you know, a couple of weeks. You know, I got, you know, I got some lines for some bitches, and, you know, I got some lines for some dudes too. And I'm just like, sir, I know I colored my beard and everything, and I appreciate that you think I am one of the young people, but I am 52 years old. And then he said, yeah, you know, the bitches for both, he said the glasses for both niggas and bitches is $325. And I was like, immediately no. And so I said, sir, without these glasses, I can't see a goddamn thing. So there's just no way that I'm going to spend that much money on sunglasses. And then he said, oh, that's no problem. I'll give you a free pair.
How do you go from $350 to free?
I'm not in charge of his marketing or his accounting, but either way, it was going to be a no for me because he didn't have them there. If he had them there at the moment, I might have taken them, but fuck, I was not going to see this dude in like 3 weeks. So anyway,
he was trying to holler, you know, because he's gonna probably be like, follow me back to my place and whatever.
Right. So anyway, so before I got a few videos. So, and then we want to talk about this one on the back end. Can you see it?
Yep.
One thing can you hear it?
We could. One thing that's what we heard first.
No, that's good. I just wanted to make sure it was up before I started it.
You can turn the volume a little bit.
I don't know if that will actually.
That's 200%, but that's fine.
Yeah, let me see if I can maximize it here too. So now it's as loud as it can go.
One thing I can't stand is a sassy banana. Back in your day, men used to be men and women used to be women. I ain't never see a man do some shit like this. I don't even got a picture this sassy. The only reason Neo really throwing shade is because he one of the baddest bitches to ever do it. He want to go back to living that thin queen life. And the fact that he wrote Irreplaceable is just a little too questionable. Don't get me wrong, my brothers be snapping on songs for the girls, but Irreplaceable hit a little too hard. Look at Neo when his crop top bust down, showing the boys a little extra meat. Neo was a bad bitch. If this ain't Butch Queen realness, I don't know what is. But eventually Neo had to hang his bad bitch boots up because he was getting a little up, but he always kept a little sassy ass hat with him. As a child, I always wondered, what the fuck was under that hat? Ah! It was a nightmare. Ain't no way forehead made take a bow. Bitch, I just had to pick myself up off the floor after reading this. Are we not scared? Is anybody not clutching their motherfucking balls? How did this man write Pretty Girl Rock? I literally remember the exact conversation me and my mama had when she told me Neo made his first wife tie her tubes because he didn't want no more kids, but then he went out and got another bitch pregnant. I knew then these niggas wasn't dead. Confucius, I just got one message for you.
That was real gay, my nigga. Cut that out.
Wait, that was the wrong clip.
Stay out of gay folks' business.
Listen.
All I must say is, I
done told y'all.
always assumed that Neo was one of the girls, and that all of that marriage and shit was. I mean, who among us doesn't know a girl who got a wife or a girlfriend on the side? I thought the same shit about Miguel.
All I know is I done told y'all that Neo need to keep a goddamn hat on. Now y'all know why that motherfucker needs to keep a hat on. If I ever listen, if we ever hooked up for some reason, nigga, don't take your hat off. Do not take your I don't give a fuck about them socks. I don't give a fuck about them drawers. I don't give a fuck about that jacket. But you keep the motherfucking hat, that motherfucking hat on.
Right. Hold on. I got one more. Well, a couple more.
At all. But that thing about the girls, I don't know. I'm still that's up in the air for me.
Those, did you see those pictures? I was like, he is giving what did the girl say? Remember she when in Paris is Burning and she lost, and they was like, well, if I'm not a butch queen, what the fuck is a butch queen? And I think he called like the host, the MC of butch queen.
That was Paris Dupree when she started. She was like, butch queen. Butch queen. She took her earrings off. That's Paris.
Yes. I was like, listen, Neo was giving butch queen in them early pictures.
Listen.
Whether he was or not, I'm just saying that was the look that she was giving.
He gotta keep his hat on. I don't give a fuck about nothing else.
Yeah. This one I don't really care about. Let me go to the other one.
What was your goal to transform into who you are now?
I'm really into like the super like exaggerated look, bigger, better, more of a little cyborg, like cyborg.
Cyborg?
That was all I really cared about. I was like, girl, what is going on with your face? You did that shit to yourself on purpose.
But it's not just the face, it was the waist and the snatchage underneath that rib cage.
Yeah. And the person that sent that to me on Instagram, I was like, hey, you know, somebody is busting him down every night and loves that look.
Probably.
I mean, you know, you can get your dick in his mouth real easy.
Yeah, that's why I was like, probably somebody is. It's probably some, and I hate to say it, but it's probably some older, nasty man that just got money and don't feel like being bothered with nothing else. Be like, listen, you sweet thing right there. I know you gay and I know you like to suck dick, and if you don't, you like money. So I'm gonna give you this money. You're gonna suck this dick, and I'm gonna dick you in the ass, and then you're gonna go home. And I'm gonna call you, and when I want it, you're gonna come.
Right.
Those are rules of engagement. And
that's how he paid for all them surgeries, because he ain't working at nobody's express.
No. He's not working. He's probably a very kept dude. And the smart thing for him to do is to have multiple, because when one gets tired, he got another option. But again,
right. So anyway, we got some stories. We got some stories tonight.
Yes, I do. I'm getting ready to have I'm getting ready. It's getting ready to be a funeral because I'm getting ready to kill my child. She's doing too much. But anyway, so yes, we got a couple stories here. So listen, according to Atlanta Black Star, do y'all remember seeing Bad Boys, and remember that John Sally was in the movie with Bad Boys with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith? Well, there's a little bit of backstory behind that. So John Sally and Martin Lawrence were friends, and John Sally, according to this article in the Atlanta Black Star, found out the hard way that looking out for your friends is sometimes frowned upon. Now, he recently went on a podcast called That's Fucked Up. And during his appearance, he said he recalled his getting his first major acting role working alongside Martin Lawrence and Will Smith on Bad Boys. Now, in that movie, it seemed to be some tension between Martin and John Sally because he was playing an IT guy, and Martin Lawrence was like pushing his finger in his face and everything, and it just seemed a little rough, a little intended. Well, he said that when Michael Bay put me in the movie, he said that he used that pissed off energy that Martin Lawrence had, and it was real because he was mad at him because of some of the shit that he said just before, like not too not too long before they filmed that scene. So as it turns out, Sally made according to the article, a faux pas when he met the comedian and his then fiance, who was Patricia Southall. I don't know if y'all remember her. She was the light-skinned woman with the green eyes, very cute woman. She was like a pageant winner or whatever. And within moments after being introduced, he blurted out, "Y'all got a prenup?" So Martin was pissed off and didn't say anything about him until they got on set. And he was like, "But I don't understand what this means. I mean, I don't understand what the big deal is." He said, "I thought that's what friends say." He said, so he got upset when I was like, and he pulled him to the side and was like, "Man, that's some bullshit. Don't say that, in front of me and my girl and all sorts of stuff." He said, "Listen, I did the same thing to Sinbad." He was like, "Why the fuck did you, why did you not understand that as a friend, I'm looking out for you?" And listen, so when they filmed that scene, it was some real tension. And some of the fans had some reaction to that because, again, Martin and Patricia wound up getting divorced. And so it literally saved him lots of money because at some particular point in time, he did wind up getting a prenup with her. But that's where we are. But that scene had just happened shortly after they were having words about what John Sally said about Martin Lawrence's fiance at that particular point. You got a question? What's going on?
My thing is, yes, that is 100% something that you say to your friend, but you don't say that shit in front of the other person. Like if you and your best girlfriend, your Grace, if she got married or was about to get married to some dude, you wouldn't be like in front of the two of them and be like, "Y'all got a prenup?"
But listen,
I mean, that's what you say to your friend in private. You don't say it in front of the other person. I think that was it. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would 100% say to a friend of mine, if I ain't trust somebody to when it's just the two of us alone, yeah, you got a prenup. But I wouldn't say it in front of this other person because then that's gonna cause a whole argument with them, especially if they've not had a conversation about it already.
Listen, you brought Grace up for a reason because I surely asked her that when she did get married. Mm-hmm. I surely did as a friend. And you and I have had conversations where I was like, just like, listen, this is where we at, what's going on with, so right. That's kind of how I feel about, certain things. And some of those things you might want to clarify because sometimes you can't see shit when you all in love. And there's nothing wrong with being in love, but I'm just saying, as the person that's outside looking in on this love, I'm like, something ain't.
Bougie girl, we didn't ask you because we assumed that you would have had a prenup or you got your shit protected. Otherwise, you got the whole I got big brothers and friends who will beat your ass if you try to do anything crazy.
So yeah, I was gonna say let's start with that, Bougie, and then on top of that, just because you are pretty in this salmon pink and apple green girl, don't mean that you don't throw no hands. So I don't give a damn who you gonna tell, baby. I know you. I know you. I know that part.
We know you for your works.
I'd say that. So yeah, and listen. On top of all that, we ain't got to worry about that because your husband loves your dirty drawers, and you love his too. So that's where we at. That's
that part. Oh, speaking of which, Bougie girl, was you at the Greek picnic in DC where that girl, this black girl, came up and tried? The K's was stepping, or not stepping, they were strolling, or whatever the AKAs call it. I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't know if the AKAs call it a stroll or not. But they were doing their stroll to set it off. And this girl with these pink and green socks and something on her shirt that said AKA or Alpha Kappa Alpha, whatever, came up and got in line with the girls, but it was clear she did not know the step. Like, bitch, I could get in and do the step better than
but you got a couple things going on. You either had she was just perpetrating all the way around,
she was 100% perpetrating.
And that's the wrong place to be perpetrating about some bullshit. You at the motherfucking Greek picnic with all these motherfuckers, you get beat down. B, it was something that was chapter wise, because there's shit that I know in my chapter that we've done and strolls that we do that just kind of, or party walks that we do that's just a BE thing. Or C, like I said, she just didn't. She the other part is I don't have no other reason. It's one or the other.
And then so there was like, and then so first there was that, and so she was already called out then, but then nobody really do anything. Then two of the sorors started doing a 2-person step to like Nook If You Buck. And then this bitch tried to join in, and she clearly didn't know a single step of what was going on. And then so like another one of the sorors came up and was like, do I'm a dancing, and snatched her ass off. And then they tried to talk to her off camera, and she said, "Oh, I went to FAMU." She was, and they were like, "What chapter?" And I know, because I went to FAMU, that she said like Beta Delta or some bullshit. I know that the chapter of AKA is Beta Alpha at FAMU, which is interesting because that is also the Delta chapter at FAMU. They're both the Beta Alpha chapter of their respective sororities. So I just happened to know that. But I was like, girl, you should have just walked away. You should have just walked away.
People listen, and that is kind of weird that it happened that way, that both of them had the same chapter name. But I mean, it happens. It just is what it is.
Sure.
So yeah, hey,
I just thought that was funny, and I was going to show that video, but the way it was set up on Instagram wouldn't let me show it. But I just thought it was funny that she was like, baby, she didn't even. I mean, because if she had just stood there in the audience with like some of the other AKAs, it could have just been like, okay, girl, sure. But you had to make a fool of yourself and try to join the stroll, and then try to do a 2-person step, and they were stepping hard. I mean, they had a whole thing to this Nook If You Buck. That was obviously something that they had done in their chapter, and they was reliving that moment or whatever. Listen,
shout out to all the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha, and I love my little cousin Del, because I see it when she does this serious thing, this hair starts flowing. Shout out to the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta, because when they get it all the way in. But I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out to the ladies of S Sigma Gamma Rho, because baby, when I hear that damn Shake That Monkey, baby, I get excited, because they be like, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, bitch, what? Anyway, I'm jumping out. Okay, so
all right, so go ahead to the next story. I just had to digress there for a second.
All right, okay. So listen, page 6, they released this article about the supermodels of the 90s. So Linda Evangelista, Cindy Crawford, Christy Turlington, and Naomi Campbell reunite on the cover of Vogue's famous September issue in the ultimate nostalgic high fashion photo shoot. Let me just
they all look fabulous
right here, right now. If you never knew anything about me, let me tell you right here, right now, that Linda Evangelista is by far my favorite fucking model of all time. The bitch is absolutely flawless for me. The bitch is the best chameleon I've ever seen in my life. She has been on so many motherfucking covers, and it takes you a second to recognize her. The bitch has worn just about every single color motherfucking hair, as well as length, and the bitch looks good in everything I see her in. Everything. I fucking love Linda Evangelista. And this cover for me is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. So these, and then all of them are from the 90s. All of them are in their 50s. Linda Evangelista is 58, and we talked about her not too long ago because she did cool sculpting, which is a fat removal process or whatever. She did some stuff, and it was messing up her face, and so we talked about that. And so she hasn't been out in the public for quite some time, and so to see her,
she looks great,
and to see this picture, but
this is her, right?
She's the blonde. No, that's Christy Turlington. Linda is to the left with the blonde hair.
This is Linda?
That's Linda. Exactly.
Okay, I can see it now. All right. Yes. I mean, but they all still look good to me.
Right. And so,
although I will say that this surgery is not really working. I don't
know.
The cheekbones. I mean, she's always had high cheekbones, but they're looking a little madamy to me.
I feel like she has lost some weight, and so she's a little gaunt in her face, trying to keep this figure. That's what I think. That's probably why they sit up so high. But I'm trying to leave it as is. But anyway, as you can see, this is going to be the cover for Vogue. They shot 3 or 4 other pictures, and if you go through, these are just flawless pictures for me, and I'm just I'm here for it. Linda Evangelista for me always eats. Christy Turlington looks okay. Cindy Crawford is still a beautiful woman to me, and there's nothing we can say about Naomi other than the bitch is absolutely just flawless. So
Yeah.
I'm just here for all of this because
I love this heel that Naomi had.
These pictures just bring back lots of memories for me, and I'm thinking of George Michael and the Freedom video and all this. Like I'm just all over it. So if you go to the other pictures, you can see Miss Linda Evangelista is. I'm sorry, I'm fangirling because I swear to God, she is my favorite model of all time. But anyway, they shared these cover shots on Instagram, and some of the followers rejoiced, talking about they were making jokes saying how it's like the new Sex and the City series, and they could be on it. And then
they could, and they will look way better than everybody that's on it. I mean, that's terrible to say, but
maybe. But here's the thing: there's some comparisons to Sex and the City might be a little bit apropos because they have a 4-part documentary coming out on Apple TV Plus called, of course, The Supermodels, which is supposed to come out on September 20th. So I'm looking forward to that. Even though I don't have Apple TV Plus, I'm gonna find somebody that got it because I just want to see this documentary. I want to see where they're going with this because I want to hear everything they got to say about Linda Evangelista and everybody else. And Linda specifically talked about being, disfigured after the cool sculpting process or whatever. And she was talking about how she doesn't mind aging. And she gets Botox in her forehead. So she was calling herself a hypocrite, but she says, listen, but she does want to grow old. Christy Turlington doesn't even go by Christy Turlington anymore. She goes by her married name, which is Christy Burns. Cindy Crawford is now, she just wants to be, she's pretty much known as Kaya's mom. And Naomi is now a mom as well. So it's like they're all in this different phase of their lives, but these bitches are still turning. And I don't give a fuck what you say because my girl Linda Evangelista is eating this picture up. I don't give a fuck.
100%.
I just love Linda. So I'm looking forward to that. By the way, what we didn't talk about was, and what we didn't mention was American Horror Stories coming back in September as well. And don't forget that Kim Kardashian is in it, Cara Delevingne, and the young lady who was, oh God, her name is escaping me. She played Madison Montgomery in Coven. I can't think of her name. It's on the tip of my tongue right now. But anyway, they are on the three people that are advertised on the new promo, and it's called American Horror Story Delight. I think it's called. I forgot. But anyway,
Delicate or something.
Delicate. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
But some of the advertisements have spiders, and so I'm already out. I'm like, dude, motherfuckers, god damn it, I'm already out. So, but just keep that in mind.
You're gonna watch it. Don't give me that bullshit.
I am gonna watch it, but they come back in September. So be on the lookout for that as well. Lastly, well, not lastly, but another story. Did you all hear about? We talked about Lizzo being having some of her dancers taking her to court about sexual harassment or whatever they were calling it, saying that Lizzo forced them to do a couple different things. Well, apparently she was, according to Radar Online, she was reportedly in the running to be on the Super Bowl 52's halftime show consideration. And since she's being sued by 3 of her ex-dancers, they said that she's been dropped. Now, they were saying talks of Lizzo being a part of the halftime festivities or performing the national anthem are dead now that she's surrounded by scandal. According to the Daily Mail's source, Lizzo was one of the front runners in the long line of possible Super Bowl performers. But again, the organization decided to take her name out of the mix because they said that she's accused of creating a hostile and overly sexual work environment. They said that as Lizzo is removed from the potential lineup of this year's Super Bowl, which is taking place in Las Vegas in February 2024, her team is facing a desperate struggle to salvage her career and reputation. A music industry source says that salvaging Lizzo's career might be more challenging than her team thinks. It is becoming more and more difficult with more people coming forth accusing her of extremely inappropriate acts, which is what the source was saying. The insiders shared that it's a lose-lose situation for the 4-time Grammy winner. They said that Lizzo has raked in a massive amount of money, but her minute is pretty much up, and it seems no one knows if she will be able to recover from this. If she speaks out, her statements are shredded. If she stays quiet, she's called a coward. Either way, it doesn't appear that this moment she can recover from this. So we shall see. But just to report that little bit of news about Lizzo as well. Hopefully we'll see her on the other side of it at some particular point.
Yeah.
Erykah Badu. I don't know if you all have heard about this. Erykah Badu and DJ Academics have been going on. They've been going back and forth. So according to The Root, DJ Academics is airing out his grievances with Erykah Badu over a joke she made at his expense 5 years ago. Now, he was on his Twitch live stream and for a conversation that initially revolved around the Tory Lanez trial and the Megan Thee Stallion. Now, the DJ switched topics to Badu after a user commented that the On and On singer ought to use her magic on him over allegations that Lane's lawyers leaked private information to him during the trial. Now, DJ Academic says, Erykah Badu, let me tell you, you keep my name out your mouth too. This is what he said before referencing her appearance on the Everyday Struggle show he hosted 5 years ago, where she said he looked like Jerry the Mouse from the 1940s Tom and Jerry cartoon. And the sad part is, if you know Jerry the Mouse, you've seen DJ Academic, baby, it's a, you can't take that image out your head because it's like that's who you are. But he said, listen, that little Everyday Struggle shit, that was another era. He said, I'm down to violate all you niggas these days. Fuck what y'all not going to do, what y'all got going on. You don't mention my name, please. I don't fuck with you neither. He continued. He said, I never fucked with Erykah Badu after she was trying to come on my show and be funny. Bitch, I don't fuck with you after that. He's going on to talk about nigga, what's up, blah, 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 blah. You know, he goes on to say some shit like, bitch came in here waving all types of wands and shit. I'm trying to be nice to you. Now I realize, oh, you was trying to play me like I'm some clown. Bitch, fuck you. How many rappers ran through you? Like how many young rappers you chased, trying to fuck them too. Now, he also referred to her as a ran-through chick at 45 and accused her of trying to go after the late rapper Extentation. I can't think of his name. Triple X Tentation. Whatever. I can't think of his name. I can't say his name. I'm sorry. After getting wind of this rant, Badu consequently hopped on Instagram on Wednesday to address his comments, explaining that at the time, everyone laughed at it, but it apparently triggered him in the aftermath. She said, and I quote, I learned something so valuable today, fam. You have to really be careful what you think and what you say out here. I learned today that something I said 5 years ago in jest, when we all laughed, actually triggered someone's really deep-rooted trauma. She said they kept it bottled up for a while, and it hurt them so bad. It had them out in these streets acting like real pussy. So that's when...
Baby, you had me to the last 2 words. I was like, okay, she's trying to give a cute little apology. This is like...
She said... Then she whipped out her popular Badu Pussy Premium Original Incense and shared that it will be back on sale for a limited time and only in limited quantities. She said, let's go Badu Pussy. On sale today, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. You know it's rare and limited supplies. They be talking about it everywhere. Now you can smell it. Peace. Miss Erykah Badu has gone down in history right now as being, listen, we're going to make her a stunt queen because, baby.
That is the nicest, nastiest...
She fired that man right there from his job, and he owns the show. She done fired him from his job with selling this incense.
Because when I was reading, I was like, "Oh, he was real fucked up behind that shit."
Listen,
I mean, he doesn't necessarily look like Jerry the Mouse, but it looked like it was just like a little joke or whatever. But
bitch, he looks like Jerry the Mouse.
But baby, his feelings was clearly not hurt.
Okay, so last story. So according to Kanye Daily, Kanye Daily recalls that Rihanna unveiled her second pregnancy by flaunting her baby bump while performing during the Super Bowl halftime show on February 12th. Now, in a noteworthy revelation, the widely followed online gossip outlet Pop Tings shared a post on its platform citing a potential claim from Media Takeout that Rihanna and A$AP Rocky welcomed their second child on August the 9th. Now, insiders close to the family have purportedly affirmed that the mother and newborn are in good health, cherishing moments together in their opulent Los Angeles residence. Intriguingly, reports suggest a striking resemblance between the newborn and her mother. Although the news is circulated on social media, it is essential to recognize that the report is still a rumor until more reliable sources.
And a rumor from Media Takeout of all places.
Right. Ideally, the parents themselves until they confirm the news. So it stirred up some excitement. And this article on Kanye Daily, KANYI Daily, had pictures as well of the baby and of Rihanna and of A$AP Rocky. So not quite sure how they got them, if they're even actual real or whatever. But so again, I just wanted to report that. So if you all hear something recently that she's had this baby, then y'all can thank Kanye Daily, and y'all can also thank Pop Tings and also Media Takeout, because it was a long, circuitous road to get these doggone pictures, but that's where we are.
Right.
So, but that's all I got for stories for this week.
Well, that was good. Thank you. Congratulations to Rihanna and A$AP Rocky. I'm happy for them. I mean, I don't really have opinions one way or another. I'm glad, she came out of this fine. Hopefully the marriage lasts. Or are they married, or are they just together?
Listen, we stand out of grown folks' business. I don't know if they married or not. I don't think they are. And I feel like I can stand in front of Riri and say, "Girl, you got a prenup?"
Child, all of the people that Riri employs, like, bitch, you better have a fucking prenup.
Listen, the fact that you are sitting next to her means you've probably already signed an NDA and a prenup.
At least.
Because listen, that young lady, I don't think she's not trying to play about her coins at all. I just don't get that feeling from her at all.
Well, all right. Well, let's roll this beautiful bean footage.
Yes, sir.
Well, this has been fun as always.
Hey, kids. I have to share this last story.
Mm-hmm.
I was hanging out this weekend with a good friend of mine. It was Grace. We'll be clear. We decided to make a purchase and pick up some little adult gummies. Somebody decided to leave them in the car in the 90-degree heat, and then they wanted to go and get a gummy, and it was goo. But being as creative as we are, we stopped in Target and found a silicone ice tray and poured the motherfuckers in there. And so I have now taken one of my poured in gummy trade reconstituted gummies.
Everybody's so creative.
Baby, that was too much money to let go to waste. You kidding?
Oh, Louboutin said it before I could.
Listen, there's too much money to go to waste, so that's what we're doing. But so I had to laugh at that. So I'm gonna give a shout out to Grace about that, because she was pissed off. I was like, girl, let's just pour this out. But that's
right.
So, but anyway, other than that, it was a hot, long, good weekend. And my child, who decided to jump in my lap now. Oh, now you don't want to play? Are you gonna say hi to the peoples? Go ahead, say hi to the peoples. Say hi. There you go. Look. She's not cooperating today. Sorry.
All righty then. All right, people. We really appreciate you as always, and we'll say thank you all for coming out. God bless you. And do you have any last words?
Nah, thank y'all for coming out.
God bless you, and good night. Bye.